And we're here, second time, just talking to the camera this time. Even more awkward than just speaking to a mic. But let's give this a shot. So, I was talking to a friend this morning. We had a beautiful conversation. I'd love to share it with you guys. So, he was just sharing with me that he feels that he's stuck in life a bit, and he's ruminating about what has he even done until now, and what's he going to be doing in the future. And he feels really lost in that way, and he can't help himself from thinking about how before he moved to his current location, where now he's married and lives, and just to keep it anonymous, I'll make up the names. Now he's living in New Orleans, and before then he was living in LA, and he loved his life in LA. He was single, and he had a community life and a work life, and he felt very content and safe. And he moved to New Orleans, a place he doesn't particularly like, and he doesn't feel like he has community life there, but his wife wants to live there, and he feels like he can't really get his feet in the ground over there, and it's a rough situation. And it sounds pretty hard. So I shared with him that life will take us to different places, and we don't get to really choose all the time where we're gonna go. But the idea of the mind telling us that, oh, back where we were last year, or in a different time where we once were, that was much better. I had my job, and I had my community, and I had all these things that kept me feeling safe. Or actually, it's true, you did feel very good there and very safe, but it wasn't from within yourself. It was all these external factors, and now you are again wanting to chase things that are outside of you. Like, if I had a community life, I'd feel safe. If I had a better business opportunity, I'd feel safe. If all these things would keep me safe, if all these things were around, that would keep me feeling much safer and much better. We're sending a lot of energy outside of us to places that are out of our control. And so I was telling him that oftentimes these things happen for us, that we get married. Marriage is a big challenge. What's the point in it? What's the point in being moved to another location? Now I'm challenged again. I have to refine myself. It's actually to show us that all the other things that we thought kept us safe are actually external factors, and they're not real. They're not really providing for us true safety. It's just the mind. The mind tells us, if I had this, I'd be safe, and if I had that, I'd be safe. And we take a lot of time thinking about all these things. But what if we just stopped and brought our attention somewhere else, brought our awareness to a different place, not to these thoughts of if I have, it's going to be okay, but just brought it to our breath. If we brought our awareness to something that's always around, something that we're always doing, which is breathing, then we give less attention to these thoughts, and these thoughts don't have any life force when there's no awareness to them. So next time these things come up and we start spiraling into, if I had this, life would be better, and if I had more money, I'd be more safe, we can keep on going with that thought and thinking about it, and thus giving it its life. We're giving it life force by thinking about it, by giving it our awareness. That's its whole life. And if we removed the attention from it and brought it to something we're doing, so if you're washing dishes and you brought our attention there, that's great, but there's something that you're always doing, which is breathing, so you always have it with you. It's a great tool to bring your awareness there. You kill that thought. It's been choked out. It has no ammunition left, no food left, no fuel. And what came out of the conversation was essentially that our safety is within us, and we get moved from one location to the next location, so that all the external securities that we had can be shattered. And now, like, the real pain starts to come up of like, oh, I'm really feeling unsafe and unsecure. And I'm like, why? Because you don't have an outside system that's holding you safe. Well, perhaps it's time to look inside and see, what do I really want for myself? Why is my worth? And if I have a community, then I have self-worth. And if I have a good job, I have self-worth. What about the fact that you just exist? That's a lot of self-worth right there. It's all of it. You don't need anything else. And this move and this part of your life is just bringing that out for you. Now, I'm not saying you need to stay in New Orleans if you hate it, but don't leave because you don't feel safe. Find the safety within that, and then you can decide, I want to move to anywhere in the world. And it's all fair game, because you don't need anything from the place you're going to go. You don't need anything from the community you're going to go. You don't need anything from any of the external factors that are out there, because you're secure from within. And that's obviously a long process, or maybe short. I don't know. For everyone, it's going to be different. That's the process of finding yourself and your safety from within, without any externalities, without any external forces giving you a false sense of security. And the trick to know if it's outside of you is if your mind keeps ruminating in it. And when you bring your awareness away from your mind, all of a sudden you actually don't need that security. Then you know that it's not legit. It's just your ego trying to stay alive. And the way it stays alive is with your awareness being drawn to it. So, yeah, bring your attention to your breath, and you can release a lot of these fears and anxieties that are not based on any reality. I do want to just warn, I'm not saying here that that it's a way to escape everything. Just start breathing and forget about stuff, because no, actually when you start to breathe, and we're always breathing, but if you bring your awareness into your breath, you start to feel your body. And if there's any like pain or anything that you have to visit and work with, or traumas that need to be released, then they're not going to be happening in your mind. Your mind doesn't feel pain. Pain is in your body and in your heart. And when you bring your awareness to your breath, you actually start to open up your heart. And you begin to feel, and then there's stuff that may come up that you may want to deal with. But as far as just some thoughts and anxieties and fears that are coming up just to grab your attention, it may be a good idea to sit down, just breathe, even announce, I'm starting to breathe now, and I am going to bring my awareness to my breath. And as my ego comes online and a new thought comes in, I notice it and I come back to my breath. And it's a skill that we can build. Start 1 minute at a time. And it can really, really enhance your life and get you to the truth of what's going on inside of you. So just wanted to share that message with y'all, and have a great Shabbos.